Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Step Up to the Mic. Folks, this is the place for aspiring and established speakers to take the stage, deliver their talks, and bring them directly to you. Today's featured speaker, she's a fantastic lady. She's an author. She's a licensed therapist. She's a spiritual channel. She's also a viral healer. Please welcome to the stage, Sarah Asher Rose.
I remember the shame that hit me like a punch. That feeling that something was wrong with me, that somehow I was different, not enough, and just missing what everyone else seemed to have. Have you ever had a moment like that? A moment that made you question your worth, your direction, your voice? I've had many of these moments. Moments that made me doubt myself, shrink myself, forget myself. But I'm here with you now to share with you what I know. That those moments weren't failures, they were invitations to remember who I really am. And that's why I do what I do today. Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah. I'm a therapist, a spiritual teacher, a divine channel who helps people with big dreams remember their truth, trust their inner voice, and step into the desires and purpose that have been calling them. But I didn't start out knowing any of that. In fact, it started with being a little girl who was so sure of who she was, to an adult who was taught to forget all that, to the version of me sitting here with you now, fully remembering. And it began with moments like these. At 12 years old, in the car with my mom, I said to her, "Hey, Mom, I think I want to be an artist." And she turned to me and said, "Oh, honey, I don't know if you're good enough." At 15, I dreamed of being an actress. My parents' reply to that? Ooh, that's weird. At 18, forced to go to college with no clue of who I was, surrounded by other students who seemed to be so sure of what they wanted to do, there was me, the only one who seemed to be unsure. I asked my professor why. She said, "Well, because they're driven and you're not." Wow. And so that old punch of shame came back, that feeling again that something was wrong with me. Have you ever felt that way? My whole life, I just felt misunderstood. And that what I wanted to do, I couldn't do. I mean, I was literally told, you can't do that. You're not good at that. I was compared, judged, underestimated. And when you're little, you don't question the messages that adults give you. You internalize them. You make yourself the problem. You dim your light to fit in. And the very parts of you that were meant to shine naturally, your voice, your expression, your creativity, become the parts you hide. Because when you showed yourself to the world, you were told you weren't good enough. And that is incredibly confusing. And it's probably the very thing making you doubt your inner knowing today. Because here's the truth, we are actually born knowing exactly who we are. We come in clear, imaginative, creative, expressive, connected. And then school happens, where imagination gets crushed. We are graded and corrected, and being different gets labeled. Fitting in becomes more important than being who you are. And slowly but surely, we learn to forget. But the real you has always been there. I always knew who I was. In kindergarten, I won Author of the Month. At home, I'd put on puppet shows for my family and make live posters to promote the show. I mean, I told everyone I was a ballerina waitress, whatever that is. And in day camp, I fell behind in swimming class when I got sick. And I came back, and all the other girls had earned their white cap while I was stuck with my yellow one. But I didn't give up. I swam my little butt off, and I earned that white cap. Creative, expressive, fearless. This is who I was before the world told me otherwise. And maybe this is who you were too. So, who were you before the world taught you to forget? What did you love to do as a child? Let's just go there for a minute. I want you to let a memory rise, an image, a feeling. And maybe you've also had moments like mine when someone made you feel like your dreams were unrealistic, your gifts were strange, or you weren't enough. But here's what I've learned. Those moments don't define you. They are not the truth of who you are. They're just experiences designed to lead you back to what's been inside of you all along. And every one of those moments was only one small part of your larger remembering. The parts of you that were dimmed, the shadows, the shame, are actually the exact parts of you that were always meant to shine the brightest. The world told me to shrink, but my purpose was to speak. The world told me to stay quiet, but my calling is expression. The world told me to be normal, but my soul kept whispering, no, you're here to be you. And this is true for you too. Your wound isn't separate from your destiny. It is the doorway into it. And everyone with a dream to speak, write, lead, express, be seen, walks through shadows of self-doubt, fear of judgment, old grief, feelings of unworthiness, and being misunderstood. Because your voice becomes powerful after it has been tested, and your message becomes impactful after it's been lived. Your expression becomes the medicine after you've healed the parts of you that once felt unworthy. That part of you that dreams of writing your book, being on stages, traveling the world, sharing your gifts, your message, your voice, is the same part of you that was once told, you're not enough, you're too much, you're different, you should be someone else. Your calling is to speak, to write, to express, and your wound was being silenced, judged, misunderstood. And here's what shifted everything for me. You are healing exactly what your soul came here to transform. You know, I once heard someone say, when you have a very bright light, it casts a very large shadow. Let that sink in for a moment, because when I heard that, something really clicked inside of me, and it helped me understand something very important, that my shadow or my failures were not proof that I was failing. They were actually proof I was expanding. And it took away that pressure that I was somehow behind or doing something wrong. And it actually helped me to see that obstacles were shaping the version of me who could hold everything I'd been praying for. When something big is calling you, your spirit rises up to meet it. When you ask for more, God expands you to receive the more that you're asking for. It comes with obstacles. You're not being punished. Those obstacles are what help you grow into the more. You're becoming the version of you who can hold what's already yours. And the truth is that this wisdom came to me in the very moments where I lost myself the most. For years, I tried to fit myself into roles that other people created for me. And maybe you've done the same. And if you're in that place right now where things aren't working, where nothing is moving, where you're questioning everything, I want you to know this. You're not being punished. You're being initiated. If things aren't working out and you're watching everyone else rise and thinking, why is it happening for them and not for me? And you're just comparing yourself to others and slowly beginning to believe this lie, I'm not good enough. I must be a failure. I want you to pause with me and say it quietly to yourself. I failed. I'm a failure. You feel how heavy that is? Now let's shift the conversation to connect to your inner truth, because the truth will always excite you and activate you. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be obstacles and challenges or self discipline, but you won't feel drained and depleted, because truth vibrates at the frequency of the Creator, and your desires are how you know you're aligned. Desire is the signal. But when you doubt yourself, block it. So, how do you know what's true for you, especially when you've spent your whole life being taught to doubt yourself? Again, go back to that moment where you said, it's not happening, I'm stuck, I'll never get there, I'm not good enough. Pause and really feel it. Now, I want you to speak to it and silently repeat this to yourself. No, not this time. I am the creator of my life, and I refuse to claim that story. I'm not a failure because I failed. Other people's success is not proof of my inadequacy. If I have a desire, it's because God placed it there. And what is mine cannot pass me by. I'm always guided. I'm always protected. Things always work out for me. Now let's say this part again, but this time say it out loud. I'm always guided. I'm always protected. Things always work out for me. And really, I want you to feel those words. And if your mind argues, that's okay. I want you to ask yourself, what would it feel like if this were true? Because your imagination is not fantasy. It's the doorway into the reality you're creating for yourself. But most of us were taught to be realistic, to stop daydreaming, to stop playing, to doubt the very part of us that naturally knows how to create. So if you've been repeating the same patterns, it's not because you're failing. It's because your imagination was literally conditioned out of you. So let's go back for a moment to your childhood, to a memory where you were just lost in play, when you weren't pretending to be a princess, a witch, a firefighter, a hero. You were it. There was no doubt in those moments of play. Your whole body believed it. Your imagination is what made it real for you. And that part of you still exists. You create what becomes real by imagining it first. Now, maybe you're here and you're watching this and you're tired of doubting yourself. Maybe you can feel your potential, your gifts, but something in you is still hesitating, still questioning, and doesn't fully trust all of this. Maybe you're finally ready to stop carrying shame and pressure and that belief that something's wrong with you or you're behind. Here's the truth. Your desires come from your inner wisdom. They're pointing you toward the life that your soul is trying to grow into. And that more that you've been searching for, it isn't somewhere out there. You, you are that more that you've been looking for. And everything you're seeking is already inside of you. A deeper part of you is waking up and whispering, it's time. And it is. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Take a nice deep breath and feel your feet on the ground. Bring to mind now something you've been desiring, something you've been working toward, praying for, dreaming about. Now I want you to just imagine that there's already a version of you who has it, who's living it right now. Calm, certain, confident. See that version of you standing before you now. And just notice the light in your eyes, the ease in your body. You're not waiting. You are remembering. Feel yourself now. Place a hand on your heart and hear the whisper. I've been here all along. I've never been behind. I've been here all along. I've never been behind. Breathe breathe that in and say it with me. I don't have to become them. I already am them. Repeat after me. I trust myself. I'm guided. I'm ready. I trust myself. I'm guided. I'm ready. I trust myself. I'm guided. I'm ready. This, this is how creation happens. Not by chasing what's missing, but by aligning with what already exists within you. Now, I want to share 3 shifts that you can make right now, small and powerful ways to start embodying and living this truth. The first shift is from hoping to knowing. When your mind starts worrying, what if it doesn't happen? Pause, take a deep breath, and speak truth into it. It's already mine. I trust in divine timing. It's already mine. I trust in divine timing. Remember, God doesn't make mistakes. What's meant for you can't pass you by. And miracles, they don't happen from doubt. They unfold from your certainty. The energy of faith is what calls the miracle in. Now, the second shift is from control to trust. When your fear tells you you need to figure it all out, stop, soften your shoulders, and say, I don't need to control this. I allow it to unfold. And, it's okay if that feels hard. We all are trying to control what feels uncertain. And surrender is actually one of the hardest things that you're ever going to practice because it asks you to trust in what you can't yet see. So here's an affirmation that you can say to help you shift from that fear into faith. Even when I don't know how, I trust that something greater is guiding me. Let the unknown feel like a possibility instead of a threat. Now, the third shift is from proving yourself to receiving. When you catch yourself trying to earn love, worth, or success, I want you to place a hand on your heart and remind yourself, I'm already enough. I receive with ease. Now, it's okay. We all do this. We're all trying to earn and prove our worth and sort of earn what's already ours. And, you've been doing the best with what you were taught, but now you're learning a new way. And that takes time, right? That shift comes when you stop trying and striving to deserve and start feeling that you already have it. You already are it. So I want you to say this when you feel like you're trying to prove yourself to the world. I don't have to chase what's mine. I just have to allow it in. And just imagine how your life would change if you truly believed it was already done. Because the moment you do, the moment it is. Feels so good. So, if this message spoke to you today, I invite you to go deeper. I've poured everything I spoke with you and shared with you today into my new book, The Practice of Remembering How to Be Who You Already Are. This is more than a book. It's a journey into who you already are. Inside, you're going to find the tools and the practices to help you live what we talked about today. You can join the waitlist on my website at sarahasharose.com. And remember, you are not searching for the light. You are the light that you've been looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care.
Wow, Sarah, Asha, Rose, everybody. Sarah, my goodness, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show and doing that. Are you up for a little bit of Q&A? I mean, you put so much into that. I just want to make sure you still have a little bit of energy left.
I do.
Okay. I appreciate that. I wanted to just ask you a couple questions. I do this a lot, and I interview people, and they do their talks, and very seldom am I sort of participating along with the audience. But when you were talking about, saying that I'm a failure out loud,
Mm,
um,
mm,
I was doing that with you, and oh my
mm,
gosh, that was so heavy that when I
mm,
said those words out loud, I was like,
mm,
why is that for those of us were doing that along with you? Why is
mm,
that so heavy for us?
mm. That's such a great question. And I think this was probably impactful because you were directed to feel that. Like I directed you. Normally, we don't pay attention to our feeling, we're not as aware. But I prompted you and I directed you to feel that. And I guess what you're feeling is the heaviness of the emotion. You know, certain feelings are heavier and we can physically feel them in our body, but we don't always have the awareness to pause and stop and really feel that because we're very much in our minds, right? So when you actually sit and feel what failure feels, that doesn't feel good, right? You can physically feel it doesn't feel good if you're very aware and if you really sit with that. But we don't often give ourselves the space to really observe that. But if I have you envision, success, that has a different feeling in your body. We're more intuitive and aware of emotions than we, I guess, allow ourselves to be because we're just very much occupied in our minds. We're not as always present in our body. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. It really did. That brings me to the next question. When you were talking about how school sort of teaches us to forget and kind of crushes us, it seems like it's designed that way. They want us all to be good little workers and soldiers and so on. I guess the affirmations that you put out are a great way to start reconnecting with yourself. Is there, any other way that you can think of that somebody might take a step towards finding, that part of them that got crushed?
Yeah, connecting to your childlike self before, that part of you that sort of just played and just did things for fun. The playful part of you that doesn't, because when we're in our playful self, we create with ease, right? There's no pressure and things come a lot easier, you know?
Hmm.
So if you can bring that playful attitude into your work somehow, instead of putting so much pressure on yourself and so much meaning, I'm doing this because I enjoy it, because it lights me up, not because I have to do it or I got to prove something. If you could start connecting to that part of you that just like to stomp in puddles for no reason or, hide under the clothing racks when you were a kid or, those little things, right? That's really important. Really important.
I love
Play
that.
is really important. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. It's a great answer. I mean, you can tell that you know what you're talking about, and you're an excellent speaker. Loved every minute of that presentation. But you're not new to this. I mean, you've been kind of spreading the word on this for a while. I mean, on Instagram, you've got over 70,000 followers. Am I reading that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, people
I,
are already listening to you, so that's fantastic. You're spreading the word.
yeah. I feel very fortunate to have that, you know. But again, that is just by being me, right? If I tried, in moments where I tried to achieve, let's say, followers, it was always much harder. Things expand when you allow them, when you're just being yourself versus I need this followers or I need that, right? But yeah, no, I have been doing it for a while, about 12 years, something like that.
That's great. It seems to me like you're sort of proof of concept for what you're teaching other people to try to do.
That's wonderful feedback. Thank you for saying that because I really believe, right, that's in the talk that you have to embody, all the things that happen to you, all the hardships, all of the struggles, all the failures. They're just allowing you to embody what you came here to do, right? So if I'm here to help others step into their truth, then I myself had to to walk through trials, Um, so I take that as a compliment because I really feel that I have to embody that to be able to tell someone else to do it.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely
Um,
authentic. I love that. The last thing I'll say on this is, as I was listening to it, as heavy as the failure part felt to say, the
yeah.
affirmations were just as powerful the other direction. How important is it for people to work affirmations like that into their daily lives?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think affirmations are great, but I think you really need to bring feeling into them because you can just say words, right? Like, I am abundant, I am wealthy, I am successful, I am, you know, whatever, I am loved. But if you're just saying it without feeling it, it's just words. It's really the emotion charged with the words that creates the power behind it. So if you're saying I'm abundant, but you're checking your banking app and there's negative and you're worrying, right? It kind of cancels the affirmation. So affirmations with feeling and sort of ignoring your outer circumstances, because that's just the past that you've manifested through your thoughts, right? So you want to focus on the feeling and know that everything is yours. It's already been done. And how does that feel to know it's already done? Ooh, that feels good. It's already done. It's already done. Oh, that feels so good. It's already mine.
Beautiful. I love that. All right. Well, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, if they want to try to book you to speak, if they want to find out more about you, what's the best contact information for Sarah Asher Rose?
Yeah, so you can go on my website, www.sarah-asherose.com. You can also email me, info@sarah-asherose. And I'm also on Instagram, Sarah Asher Rose. You can DM me there too.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. I love it. Sarah, thank you so much for being here today. Folks, licensed therapist, author, spiritual channel, viral healer, Sarah Asher Rose, thank you so much. It was absolutely wonderful, and you're amazing. I can't wait to see you on stages out there somewhere else.
Yay, thank you so much.
All right. Folks, this has been another spectacular episode of Step Up to the Mic. If you're an aspiring or a current speaker and you want to bring your talk to the masses, message us today. Never stop talking and let us help you step up to the mic.